Shalom, Yashar Allah. First and foremost, I would like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chadash. I'd like to say double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to all you hopeful talking out there laboring that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp. And I'm doing this lesson based on the word forced re-migration. And this was a term, that I first heard of, on the news and stuff like that. But you know how Esau uses these fancy keywords, and it's a term that's coming common within the news, in parts of Babylon the Great, as well as over there in Europe, mainly, this the country Poland. I think it was the first article that I saw, because Poland is one of the oddballs out in Europe, because they do not allow any immigrants to walk open into their borders. They actually have special programs to keep Poland, just how it is. So they used, the term forced remigration, first. It's back because these other people have been talking about it. Anyways, the point being is that, it's very key to what's going on here in Babylon the Great, which is going on with these deportations and the forced remigration. And this has always been, something that the Israelites have had to deal with, being displaced, wandering in the wilderness, not having a homeland, according to the curses. This is something that we're going to deal with until the very end, because we're not going to find a rest for the sole of our foot, like scriptures say. Here, I'm going to go that. No rest. That's in Deuteronomy, I believe. Yep, Deuteronomy 28:65. It says, "And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind." And that's the different tribulations, the different things that an Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American have to deal with, even in their own land. Gadites were displaced, 300 years ago, ever since this man first stuck his crusty foot on this continent, and he has the audacity to call these other people immigrants. This motherfucker across the whole ocean is not even native to this part of the hemisphere, and he has the audacity to call people immigrants that are native to this land. And because he drew borders, imaginary lines across certain parts of the country, now that deems you not it deems you a second class citizen. But this is what you can expect from a man that it controls his kingdom through wickedness. And he does have the authority to do this, because as Job 9:24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. But more importantly, the fact that it is geared towards attacking the Israelites. These other nations have other nations, and the Lord is not concerned with them. Like scriptures say, they are as a drop of a bucket. But the Israelites are target number one when it comes to all these nations attacking them, kicking them out of whatever country they're in, demonizing them, starting back in Western Asia, in Europe, when you first had the Southern Kingdom start to be taken down, and losing the identity of King Charles, or Duke this or Duchess that, titles of royalty, different kings, for the Edomite to crawl out of the cave. This is talking about the Renaissance, for him to come and take the identity and claim that he built all the castles in Europe and that he's a European. For once he gets the go ahead and he's infiltrated, the Catholic Church and everything like that, because Jake, has been, under the curses, obviously. We've been displaced, and here comes chattel slavery, the slave trade started by Arabs, the Ishmaelites, and then Esau took over and started capitalizing on bringing, Jake over here from the Southern Kingdom after he took over Europe, which during the time of the Renaissance is where you see Esau coming into his, power, after crawling on his stomach, eating dust and confusion, being a wild man in the cave, grunting and hollering, not having a voice, to now he's building stealth fighter jets and ICBM nuclear missiles. That leap of coming from the caves, leaping, not even having a language, eating juniper roots, picking ticks out of their pubic hairs and eating them type thing. Man, there's accounts of that. To now he has super nuclear physicist scientists building different bombs based on splitting a single atom or a molecule in half. Him harnessing the energy, so there's no way that this amount of evil that has increased in these most recent days is not divine intervention, because this is all according to prophecy. This man is supposed to be the worst of the worst, and the Lord is quickening his time. Look how quick he's diminishing. Even if, let's say, I'm just saying hypothetically, speaking as a man, if this world were to continue 200 years, there wouldn't be a white man left, so-called. They'd all be assimilated by these darker races. And that's something Esau can't take, because his racism and his hatred for these other nations, starting with the nation of Israel, is going to push him to pretty much destroy the world. That's why scriptures say, if the times be not shortened, there be no flesh to be saved. This man thinks he's going to crawl away in his bunkers, jump into his underwater ocean bases, and let the world die above and rise out of the ashes like a phoenix. It's not going to happen, So the point being is that this is Ezekiel 35 and 13. This is thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, because only Esau Edom has taken the title of being God's son, showing that he is the Most High himself, whitewashing the images, breaking off the nose off the statues, speaking boastful words, putting a false nation, a bastard nation, in the land of Ashdod. Like scriptures say, bastards shall dwell in Ashdod. Going into these lico hats, man. You have the audacity to inhabit the Holy Land and change everything that was really historically accurate there. First and foremost, based on hiding his people, hiding the name, whitewashing the images, based off of Renaissance, like I was speaking earlier. From when he was crawling out the caves, the first thing he did was put all those paintings into a vault underground, 50-mile vault under the Vatican, so that Jake wouldn't realize that his images are there. But you have images up to this day, because there were so many of them that there's impossible to say that there wasn't a so-called race of so-called black people there, which were the tribe of Judah, Levi, and Benjamin, mainly. The southern kingdom. Judah, Levi, and Benjamin were the main ones inhabiting, the land of Europe, and building different castles and having different wars between France and England and this country and that country, and countries that don't even exist anymore. Because if you look at a map of Europe from 1066 to the late 1100s, it looks like a damn, puzzle piece board. But imagine every puzzle piece is a different country. They all have different borders that are interconnecting, but it's a vast amount. And Esau went through the most effort to hide that. Just like he burned the books when he came over here to the North Americas and saw what Issachar had built, in Tenochtitlan. He burned the Peruvians, Machu Picchu temples. He brought disease warfare, because the land over here and the Gadites and Northern Kingdom didn't have an immune system to fight against the smallpox, which over in Europe, known as Western Asia specifically, the bubonic plague that they said came from a rat. No, it was divine intervention from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to bring the numbers and weaken the southern kingdom over there, so they could ultimately get taken over by the wild man, being Esau Edom. So again, this is Ezekiel 35 and 13. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Whoo! Man, you playing and trying to box with you're like Elder Makuma says, your arms are too short to box with the Lord. Verse 14. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. It's going to be a good thing. And these other heathen nations are under captivity in Esau Edom right now, catching hell. But when they're in captivity and servants of the Israelites under a righteous kingdom, they're going to be rejoicing. compared to how Esau was treating them. Yeah, they still gonna get a boot in the ass. Yeah, they still gonna be judged under the law. Yeah, there's still gonna be judgment of the capital type going out in public view, spiritual power judgment going on these heathens. They're still gonna love serving an Israelite more than this place, man. And the whole earth is gonna rejoice, even from creation, the trees. You know, like it says in Isaiah 14, even the fir trees will rejoice. You know, this is verse 15. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate. So this is why Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is doing it, because this damn heathen that sold his birthright, Esau Edom, is attacking the apple of the Lord's eye, his chosen people. Not because he's messing up the world, but because the Lord is our power and he's coming to deliver us. And the reason why the world is going to get turned from upside down to right side up is so that the Israelites can dwell in safety, you know, in the kingdom of heaven that's going to be established here on earth. Again, Ezekiel 35:15, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. And this scripture that says Idumea, that's a Greek word. And this is an Old Testament Bible. So this is why, you know, Esau has gone in here and changed things. But that Idumea, Edom, Mount Seir, that is all code words for Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. You know, so again, if you can't see that this place is going down and it's going down quick, and you still think that you have time to prosper and celebrate one more Christmas with the family, man, get ready for a dark winter. Get ready for cataclysms. Get ready for neighbor against neighbor. Get ready for your family to sell you out. Get ready for the MOT to the B, because all these things that are going to happen in your lifetime. This ain't going to happen, oh, my grandchildren's children are going to have to worry about the end of the world. Not me. Nah, you, nigga. You're going to have to worry with the shit. You're going to have to face the shit. You're going to have to be a man and be able to know how to guide your family. And if you haven't rooted and grounded and built your foundation and your household on Yahweh Yahushai, great was the fall of that house. Like scriptures say, when the wind burst against the house and the waters rose, the tribulation gets thick and heavy out here, man. Cannibalisms. You don't even have any money to your name because there's no way for you to buy or sell, because you're a pilgrim upon the earth, going from here and there, seeking righteous refuge, you know, like a Book of Eli style. You know, all you got is what you have on your back. Maybe not even that, because you had to leave it and run, you know, and you're going to have to leave all your supplies, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to have to bring you to some waters, bring you food. And the fact that you have faith in that is what's going to get you saved. Because like scriptures say, woe be to the faithless, you know, woe be unto the unbelieving. Let me say it. Woe be unto the faithless. We'll close it out on this. Let me see if it shows up right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is not the one I was thinking of, but this is a good one to close it out. I don't want to spend too much time trying to find that one in Ecclesiasticus, Salakia. You know, I want to get straight to the point, because this is a good way to end it. It's a beautiful way to end it, because long story short, if you do not repent, come back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, do the best that you can according to the law, statutes, and commandments in this lifetime, even make an effort, because no way anybody's going to be perfect, but you're not even going to make an effort. You're going to put the plow down. You're not going to want to do the work. You don't want to go on the highways and byways if you're a man that has 2 fucking cents to understand that you can memorize verses, understand breakdowns, and go teach somebody else so that they can, Lord willing, be saved. Man, there's no higher calling than to be a prophet and to understand what's going to happen before it happens. This is Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. The first death being the flood, the second death being with fire. You know, so again, but the fearful but the fearful and unbelieving. So you don't believe the report. You're scared. You don't know that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to be able to feed you. You don't believe in the chariots coming down and delivering Israel from whatever situation. Ultimately, if you live in Babylon the Great, a chariot is the only way that you're going to have to be able to get beamed up and saved out of here. And the abominable, you know, you Adam and Eve and Adam and Steve type ass fucking weirdos. You know, you damn scissoring bitches, man. You going crazy out there doing abominable works with your bodies. And the murderers, you YNs thinking you got a switch running up on your own brother. And the whoremongers going into the, you know, the pimps. You making a prostitute of the daughter of Israel. You capitalizing on somebody else wickedness in the sense of sexual, you know, immorality. And sorcerers, you damn pharmakia, cocaine dealing, fentanyl dealing, crack dealing, fucking misusing the herbs dealing, sorcerers, and idolaters. You damn Catholics going into anybody putting a idolatry image, going into, you know, the rosaries. You know, I went to the store today to get some things for dinner, and I had to go to the Hispanic aisle to get some certain spices that are over there, you know, because the stores we got out here, Albertsons, you know, they got a little aisle especially for the Northern Kingdom, and they got a fucking whole section from 2 rows deep, top to the bottom, of candles with different saints on them. Michael slaying the devil, you know, Mary, all this idolatry images, man, right there. And all liars. You Christian pastors, you damn sellouts that are changing the doctrine, changing the truth so that you can make it a more world-friendly doctrine. You fucking going down too, man. Don't think that you understanding that you're an Israelite is enough. No, you have to teach the Bible correctly. There's no such thing as unity. And no, if you're not teaching the correct doctrine, there is no unity among camps. You know, Great Millstone has the 100% truth, as well as the affiliates that teach the same doctrine as Great Millstone, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, i.e. nuclear missiles destruction, the elements being melted, which is the second death. And if that don't scare you, man, I don't know what will. So get right or get left, and Lord willing that this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Till next time, I would like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachachwadash, and double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.